Welcome to our podcast, The Social Worker Scoop. I'm Mana,
And I'm Michaela.
and we are Child Protected
Protected
Social Workers.
Today we're going to talk about dialectical behavior therapy. It's a type of therapy that combines cognitive behavioral techniques with mindfulness and acceptance strategies. It helps individuals manage intense emotions, improve relationships, and develop coping skills. DBT focuses on balancing acceptance and change through 4 key areas: mindfulness, distress tolerance, emotion regulation, and interpersonal effectiveness.
We don't replace your therapist, but we will provide you with some tools on your journey. One of the goals of DBT is to help people realize how complex life is and be engaged with it and understand it as a whole. So instead of a black and white thinking, we want to have a dialectical thinking and dialectical behavior. I'm excited about this, Michaela.
Same. Hopefully, learning about DBT in depth can help us implement DBT in our everyday work with clients and just life in general. So, what is DBT? DBT was developed by Dr. Marcia Linehan in the 1980s to help people with intense emotional regulation issues, particularly those with borderline personality disorder. Did you know Marcia was psychiatrically hospitalized for 2 years, which motivated her to create a method to treat her symptoms, which were persistent suicidal ideation and self-harm? She wanted to focus on acceptance rather than change. Her key focuses were balancing acceptance and change, helping individuals acknowledge their struggles while simultaneously working to develop healthier coping mechanisms.
So DBT was a method designed to help people with suicidal thoughts who often had a diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. Individuals with borderline personality disorder often experience the following symptoms: intense emotions, having difficulties with their relationships. Their actions can be impulsive. Their thinking can be very black and white. So the goal of DBT is to help clients manage these symptoms by providing them skills to reach their goals and manage relationships to have a better overall life quality. Although DBT was created with borderline personality disorder, DBT can be used to treat major depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, generalized anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, eating disorders, substance abuse disorders. Marcia overcame a lot and has been a great advocate for the mental health community, it seems.
Yeah, she's really the definition of resilient. She used her own experience as motivation to help herself and many others. Core concepts of DBT. DBT is structured around 4 main concepts: mindfulness, distress tolerance, emotion regulation, and interpersonal effectiveness. Mindfulness, which is paying attention to the present moment and feeling at ease. This technique is beneficial for individuals experiencing an unstable sense of self or difficulty staying focused on the present moment. It guides individuals to become aware of both their external surroundings and their internal experiences, which includes their thoughts and emotions.
Distress tolerance. So this concept helps individuals consider positive strategies for managing their behavior and emotions to avoid acting impulsively or engaging in risky actions that result in negative outcomes. It guides individuals to prepare for intense emotions they may experience and use distraction techniques to help decrease the feelings of distress.
Next is emotion regulation. This concept helps individuals learn how to identify and control intense emotions. It teaches them how to manage difficult emotions that may arise, preventing these intense feelings from taking control of the situation.
Interpersonal effectiveness. Developing a communication skill that aims to teach individuals to communicate in healthy and respectable ways to build healthier relationships. So each of these concepts help clients in understanding complex emotional patterns and tackling their challenges with acceptance instead of self-criticism. So these core concepts are something I feel we could honestly use in our everyday personal lives, depending on your situation. For example, if you're running late and you're stuck in traffic, instead of getting angry and rushing and engaging in road rage or flipping off the car next to you, you can't change your current situation. So instead, maybe use an emotional regulation to, you know, calm yourself down, listen to music, listen to a podcast, call a friend and talk to them. I think it's really important to manage your emotions because at times when it gets so heightened, it could cause something worse to happen and you don't want that to happen. So I think this is a really positive way to look at life and I'm definitely going to start using these in my personal life.
Such a good point, Mana. I will definitely use it in my own personal life as well. Another way we can use this is many of our clients would benefit from it. These concepts specifically, for example, physical abuse, like usually happens when parents are feeling overwhelmed and act impulsively, unable to regulate their own emotions or behaviors. And by modeling these and teaching these concepts, parents can address their children's behavior in a healthy way rather than physical abuse or acting impulsively that lead to abuse and neglect reports to the department. Okay, so how do social workers use DBT in practice? DBT is delivered in various formats, which include individual therapy, group skills training, and phone coaching. Individual therapy is one-on-one sessions where clients focus on applying DBT skills to their own challenges. These sessions are usually about once a week, and clients will usually be asked to do some homework tasks outside of the individual sessions.
So then we have group skills training. With this, clients learn and practice the DBT skills in a group setting, usually facilitated by a trained DBT therapist. Group skills training usually runs once a week for about 2 hours. The group leaders will also assign homework to aid the clients to use skills learned in the group in their everyday life.
So, phone coaching is when the therapist is available between sessions. This allows clients to reach out for support when facing difficult situations. This method allows the therapist to give guidance on how to cope with a situation as it's happening.
So, as you see, it's not a one size fits all approach. Social workers tailor it to each individual's needs, guiding them to integrate DBT skills into their everyday lives.
Exactly. DBT often involves balancing the acceptance of the client's experience with the need for change, which can be a delicate balance to strike in therapy.
So, let's try to figure out an example. A person with BPD might engage in self harm after an argument with a loved one. The therapist would use behavioral chain analysis to explore the triggers leading them to the self harm.
So the situation could be argument with a loved one. That's a trigger. The emotions the client might be feeling: anger, frustration, feeling misunderstood. The thoughts the client might be having: no one cares about me. I can't handle this. The action maybe engages in self-harm, and the consequence of the action and thoughts is temporary relief, but later guilt and shame.
Well done, Michaela. So I really like that you can use the DBT model in both in individual therapy and group skills because everyone's different and different things work for different people. So I like the two different approaches.
Yeah, I agree. Like, not every client will do well in groups, and not every client will do well individually. So, given the two options is beneficial. I also like the phone coaching to be able to call your social worker or therapist in the moment. To be talked down is really beneficial.
Our little co-star over here is getting antsy, but I agree with you though, Michaela. I do think it's important to be able to address the issue in the moment when you're in crisis, opposed to waiting a week to see your therapist and, figuring out ways then. And I think it's important to be able to have that support to talk you down so that next time something like that happens, you are aware of those skills and kind of how to utilize the guidance that you received before to cope with the situation. So now let's talk about what the research says about DBT's effectiveness.
Numerous studies have shown DBT's effectiveness, particularly in treating borderline personality disorder, reducing self-harm behaviors, and improving emotional regulation.
In fact, studies have found that DBT significantly reduces suicide rates and self-injurious behaviors in clients with BPD.
Other research has shown that DBT can help individuals with other mental health conditions like depression, eating disorders, and PTSD.
Research also supports DBT's ability to improve overall quality of life, increase emotional stability, and decrease negative behaviors, even outside of the initial treatment focus. A study was conducted on the effectiveness of DBT skills training in outpatient men. A naturalistic study in 2022. The study evaluated the impact of dialectical behavior therapy skills groups on emotional regulation difficulties among adult men in an outpatient setting. 16 male participants completed a self-report measures assessing emotional regulation at both intake and after a 12-week DBT skills group module. The study found a significant reduction in overall emotion regulation difficulties. This improvement was primarily attributed to the enhancements in impulse control difficulties. The study found, in comparison, a group of 82 women displayed significant improvements in emotional regulation difficulties. These findings suggest that DBT skills trainings can be effective in addressing emotional regulation challenges in adults with outpatient settings.
Another study we looked at was a systematic review conducted on the effectiveness of dialectical behavior therapy as a transdiagnostic treatment for improving cognitive functions. The study explored the effectiveness of DBT as a treatment for cognitive dysfunctions across multiple different mental health disorders. The review focuses on DBT's potential to improve cognitive functions, particularly in individuals with emotional dysregulation and related conditions. The review included studies that applied DBT to different mental health disorders, including borderline personality disorder, depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as conditions associated with emotional dysregulation. The review found evidence supporting the effectiveness of DBT in improving certain cognitive functions, particularly in individuals with emotional dysregulation. The review also emphasized the potential for DBT to be a transdiagnostic treatment that can help improve cognitive functioning in range of psychological disorders.
So, how can we utilize DBT in our current roles as child protective social workers? Since DBT teaches skills for emotional regulation and distress tolerance, mindfulness, and interpersonal effectiveness, we can teach these skills to children's parents or even both. For example, mindfulness, helping children and parents practice being present in the moment, can reduce anxiety and impulsive behaviors. Distress tolerance, teaching children how to manage and tolerate difficult emotions like anger or sadness, especially in high stress situations, family conflicts, or crises. Emotional regulation, helping children understand their emotions and manage intense feelings in healthier ways. You can model and reinforce strategies such as deep breathing, identifying emotions, and self-soothing techniques.
How can we support our parents? Parent training. Many parents in child protective services have not been taught healthy ways of managing their emotions or behaviors. You can incorporate DBT-based strategies into your work with parents to help them manage their reactions and foster a safer home environment. Validation. In DBT, validating emotions is key. This means acknowledging the emotions of parents or children, which can help parents feel heard and reduce conflict. Teaching parents to validate their child's emotions can also help in preventing emotional outbursts or aggression. Coaching. You can coach parents on how to model DBT skills with their children, like using distress tolerance skills during times of high emotional stress or using mindfulness to handle difficult situations.
So, to wrap it up, DBT is a powerful therapeutic approach that helps individuals develop skills to manage emotions, improve relationships, and cope with distressing situations.
It's grounded in both acceptance and change, offering a structured yet flexible way for clients to work through their challenges.
And the research supports its effectiveness, especially for individuals with emotional dysregulation and complex mental health issues.
We hope this conversation gave you a better understanding of DBT.
Thanks for tuning in to the Social Worker Scoop on dialectical behavior therapy.
DBT offers powerful tools for managing emotions, improving relationships, and creating a balanced life.
Whether you're dealing with intense emotions or looking to develop healthier coping strategies, DBT can be a game changer.
If you're curious to learn more, check out some of the resources we mentioned today.
Take care of yourself and remember, change with acceptance
is always possible.